All right, we are officially, hello, Alicia. I can hear you from here, even on mute. You're still on mute.
Hi.
Hi. So every time Alicia and I hop on to do a session, even before her camera is on, all I hear is hi. And it's so loud and I love it. It's the best part of my day. All right, everybody, I am so delighted that you're here today, and quite frankly, honored, because this is a really, at least for me, this is a really sacred time of year. You know, the trend, what we do, right? Jazz hands, if we agree. Anyone says anything at any point and you don't want to interrupt them, but you want to show support, you give them the jazz hands. So this is a sacred time of year. This really is a year where we are reflecting, shutting down, amping up, thinking about change, thinking about who we are. 2020 has been a triggering year, to say the least. And I thought, you know, normally our inclination right now is to really think about how we want to go bigger in 2021. And I agree with that. But I also want to make sure that we are being mindful of our capacity. Because again, jazz hands, if you've noticed your capacity has taken a bit of a hit this year and you could do less than you normally could. Yeah. So I really want to make sure that we are being mindful of capacity and also, you know, the social distancing virtual world that we're in now, and how we can really set goals for ourselves that feel good and feel supportive, but still really inspire us and empower us to continue to take action, because y'all have been doing some pretty incredible things this year. Sound good? All right, before we get going, as always, I would love for us to go around and do just a quick intro, maybe who you are, where you're from, what you do, y'all know it's a test, and what you are taking with you that you're really proud of from this year into 2021. And we're going to try to keep it to about no more than a minute. We're going to keep it nice and tight, so that we all get a chance to talk. So unmute. I was going to do anything, but I don't have to. Unmute. Juliet, I'm going to kick it off with you, and then I'm going to let you pass it to the next person.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Juliet. I am in Toronto and I'm the co-founders of Scandalous Photography and Limitless, which are a business, boudoir photography business and a coaching for women program that we have yet to release. Biggest thing this year will probably be the fact that I'm really proud that we managed to adapt this much, knowing that our industry was completely shut down as photographers, and we managed to pivot, this was the word of this year, pivot, and find additional ideas to build. And I'm going to ask my co-founder, Fanny, to go next.
There you are.
Hi, everyone. So I'm not going to reintroduce what we do because Juliette already did. So for me, I will say that, yeah, I do agree with Juliette. I am also very proud of us for having a lot of clients after the first lockdown. It was like really, really amazing, actually. So yeah, to us.
Big yes. So what are you going to take with you into 2021 that you're really proud of from this year? Juliet, did you answer that?
Yeah, I did when I say our capacity to adapt ourselves.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Okay. Well, next person, let's go for, I don't know, Linda.
Awesome. I'm Linda. I'm from Vancouver Island in Canada, and I am a money coach who helps women with their overspending and addiction to spending money. My biggest thing that I feel like I've come away with in 2020 and that I'm proud of is that I kept going, because I felt like there was a part of the year where I was like, I wanted to hit the fuck it button and just be like, okay, peace out. This is too hard. Pivoting sucks, but I kept going.
I love it. Like, big jazz hands. Yeah. All right. Throw it to someone else, Linda.
Alicia.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I help transform the health and lives of women over 50 through fitness and through weight loss strategies. And this year, I'm always really excited by number goals. So I actually made a living this year when I did my numbers. End of year, that's a big deal. Not much of one, but enough of one. So I'm proud of that. And I'm proud that I've had a full year of launches for my signature program. And I think I'm proud of that because when I look back at it, during it the whole time, Lindsay, as you know, because you've spoken to me a million times, it feels like it's not growing and I'm not doing anything. And one launch is good and the next one sucks. And, but the fact that it's done and it's only been a year, it means that there's so much more growth yet to come from it.
Yes.
Like more happy about that.
I love it. I'm gonna get you to pass it off in just a second, but jazz hands if you've realized that even from the little bit that you have done, you've gotten a glimpse into what's possible. Yeah, Jana. Yeah. Actually, why don't we slip it over to you, Jana? I'm taking it away from you, Lucia. Sorry. Jana, let's slip it over to you.
Just to start off and say, I'm like really pumped to be here. It's the first time I've been in a group, well, full-time group session with you guys. And yeah, I am Canadian. However, I haven't lived in Canada for a number of years. I currently live in the UK. I'm an aid worker / development worker and had babies. So kind of shifted from living like abroad in humanitarian settings and now have basically set up a soon-to-be business that helps aid workers and social entrepreneurs track and increase their impact through using data innovatively. And that's been super cool, especially during kind of the pandemic, because the settings that I kind of have a background in are remote settings where you can't actually get into, say, a country. And so we've been able to use tech and data to actually track what are the needs and what are the impact of kind of remote programs. And now the whole world has gone remote. So I think there's just this whole world of opportunity where people are finally saying, oh yeah, we all need that kind of tech and data to kind of see what's going on in other parts of the world when we can't get there to kind of run our companies or run our programs. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. It's a little bit complicated, but
essentially, if I were if I were to sum it up, I would say that Jana is an expert at understanding how to read and take action on data that a lot of nonprofit organizations don't. And so it's a very niche skill that's in high demand. And Jana is moving and shaking right now to help a lot of organizations out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about like what I'm taking with me into 2021. So I actually met Lindsay through Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy. And anyone else knows that.
Yeah.
And I think I like bought that program like 2 years ago, and I'm finally finished filming my course and about to launch in January. And I think I'm just super proud of like actually completing that and knowing that I can do it and I can launch it. And now I'm in the sales phase, but yeah, I'm really proud of that.
Wonderful. Okay. All right, pass it on.
Who hasn't gone yet? Who's Francine?
All right, Francine.
Okay, hi everyone, delighted to be here. I am Francine Dick. I am an amazing certified financial planner living in Toronto. After people finish with Linda getting their money shit in order, they come to see me. And I do some of the stuff Linda does, but mostly I help get them comfortable and secure for the future. So whether it's overall financial planning, making sure their insurance needs are met to protect against life's unexpected events, which we've sure found out about this year, or just saving for any, whether it's retirement or a home purchase or whatever. I help make sure they're on track.
And you also do work with like ethical investing too, right?
You know what? I was just going to say that.
Oh,
Lindsay.
I'm so sorry.
You should be. Yes, I was just going to say that I specialize in socially responsible investing. And in fact, I was a finalist for the Wealth Professional Awards for 2020. Yay, me. I am brought my computer down. I am sitting on my living room couch with my kitty beside me and really looking forward to this afternoon. I guess I'm proud. I love what, oh my God, Linda said about hitting the fuck it button, you know, because I think sometimes I've just felt like that. It's just really, it's exhausting, and we're going into winter. I live alone, and I know it's a challenge. And I think what I've learned this year, my business has grown, not as much as I would have liked it to, but it's still grown, and I'm happy about that. I think what I've learned is to put myself first, which is really hard, I think, especially for women. Like, it's like, you know what? I'm forcing myself every day to get out at 2 or 3 o'clock for a walk, which is hard. You know, you're busy doing stuff, but it's like, no, I'm going out for a walk. And just, yeah, to put my own mental health and my own needs work. And if I only work 5 hours in the day, fuck it, I'm working 5 hours in the day. And, you know, just what do I want? What do I need? And that's, you know, I don't know if I've ever really done that on such a deep level, but, you know, for my mental health, I need it.
Francine, I am writing that down. We are talking about that today.
Oh.
I love it. All right, pass it on.
Cass.
Hello. I'm Cass. I'm in Toronto. I'm a photographer and filmmaker. This year, more of a filmmaker than a photographer because of the lockdown. I focus in helping entrepreneurs and creatives tell more evocative and emotional content better and faster. And I think the thing that I'm taking with me, this year is actually the first year where I've made money in terms of like paying myself a really comfortable salary and then having money in my business bank account for my business. So that was pretty huge. But the thing that I'm really taking with me is firm boundaries.
Yeah.
It took the pandemic to have me saying no to good money, like good client money, because I knew that it wasn't a good fit. And so like saying no and knowing where those boundaries are and being like, you know, I maybe don't need this money. Something else will come along that won't make me rip my hair out.
Yes, I was just talking about that with somebody. I don't know if that was anybody here on the thing, and we were talking about that, and that they charge 25% more to work with people that are pains in the butt, so that it's worth it. And I was like, there is no amount of money that is worth it to work with a pain in the butt.
I did that this year, even charging more, and I'm like, I had to fire them yesterday. I was like, I can't. This is not working.
Yeah, no, and I think more so now more than ever, like peace of mind and mental health capacity, like Francine said, we are getting strict, not rigid, but strict with that. We are putting our own boundaries in place around that, right? Cass, Sarah had said that she wants to connect with you. Sarah's down there, Fitness by Sarah Taylor. She does lots of video for her thing, so you need to connect. Not right now because I don't want to disrupt the flow, but at some point I'm going to get y'all to put your email in the chat, and then I will make sure that those all go out. Okay. All right, Cass, throw it around to someone else.
Heather.
Thanks, Cass. I keep checking the time because I have to pick up the kids for the bus. I can't miss that. So I'm glad that I'm on now. My name is Heather. I'm from Niagara, Ontario, and I'm an occupational therapist that helps parents support and understand their baby's sleep and development without sleep training. So that's what I do. I think the biggest shift, I've been listening to people's stories enough that I've forgotten the questions, but I think I'll scope it out with my answer. My biggest realization, I guess, this year is, or my biggest gain.
What are you most proud of from 2020?
Most proud of. I am proud of like narrowing my niche to the point where I know who to say no to and send them somewhere else, which I just did 20 minutes ago. A year ago, I would have been like, I think I can morph into that for you. I'll do that. And it's like, no, I don't do that, but I know someone who does. And I think that's why I had my best month last year, because people that are coming to me are like the right ones. So I'm most proud of that. Moving into next year, that's the next question.
Just
what
what
I'm
you're taking
looking
into,
forward
yeah,
to?
what you're proud of that you're taking
What I'm
into.
taking. So yeah, I think it's the niche and moving to balance my time to use that well. And part of that is having that niche so I can just do what I'm the best at and ignore what I'm not the best at.
I liked what you said about
That'll be
not
good.
morphing into what others need and instead passing them along. I want to talk about that today as well.
Mm.
All
Okay,
right.
I'm going to pass it on to, oh no, see, we're starting to get, Tamara. I don't think you've talked today.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Tamara. I'm originally from Vancouver, and now I live in Kelowna, and now hoping, fingers crossed, to return back to Vancouver because I've kind of had enough. I just had a really big burnout this past Friday, realizing how much I hate managing other people's social media accounts because I feel really disconnected from it.
Yeah.
And that's my day job. And then I am an online personal stylist, which that kind of flopped this year as well. And right now, just feeling kind of lost and trying to focus on myself. And that's about it.
All right. So, I mean, selfishly, I can't wait for you to come back. But tell us of all the things this year, what really has had an impact on you that you will take with you into next year?
I definitely kept consistent with my YouTube channel and really trying to navigate through that. I have to give credit to Cass as well, because if I didn't have her help, I wouldn't have kept going. I've put it on pause, but I really kind of came into my own with that, and I enjoyed it. And I loved the aspect when I did interviewing as well. It was just great to hear other people's stories and really have those conversations. And so right now I think is a good time to just kind of review and see like what I can do. Because I'm on a leave of absence right now, and I don't think I will return to my job, just looking at it as a whole, because at the end of the day, like I've done lots of stuff for lots of other people to help them get to where they want to go, and I need to start to spend that time and invest in myself versus always trying to help everybody else. So
I think that's like lesson number one in this pandemic for so many entrepreneurs.
yeah.
Anyone else noticed how damn productive they are now they're forced to stay home? Is that just me? All right, pass it on to Mara. You're already going. I'll do it. So Kayla, why don't we flip to you? And just as a reminder, who we are, where we're from, what we do, and what you're most proud of in 2020 that you're taking with you into 2021.
Hi, everyone. I'm so thankful to be here with all of you today. I feel so warm already just listening to what you do, and thank you for showing up as yourselves. It just really feels like community here. So I'm Kayla, and I am an uplifting tarot reader, a soul coach, as well as an actor and writer. I am a multi-passionate person, and I believe that I'm proud of a couple different things this year. One of them is really allowing myself to cut the fat and go deep in what I absolutely adore. And the second I would say is allowing myself to be seen. 2021 has been the year where I felt that I had no choice but to be seen if I really wanted to go full in, and I had no other choice but to go full in. So I'm really grateful that some of the other things that I used to preoccupy my time with got taken away from me basically, and that I've been able to dive in. And I think lastly, investing in myself this year, especially when it felt really risky, when it felt like I should have been, I was like debating, like Linda, Francine, I'm debating like, should I be investing in these stocks or should I be investing in me? Like literally up at night. And thankfully I have a really supportive partner who is like, I think if you invest in you, now you might have better returns than even these stocks.
Oh, you
So-
got the jazz hands from Linda on that one.
Yeah. So I'm really proud of doing that, even in a scary time when it didn't feel like it was, like I wasn't sure of what the return would be. So thank you so much. I'm excited for today.
Yay, I love it. Thank you. And you prompted some really great questions I'm going to ask you. So thank you. All right, pass it on.
Okay, so I'm going to pass it on to Simon. Can you let us know how to pronounce your name? Hi, love. I see you waving at me. Saima. Great. You got your name connected. Saima.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say thanks, Lindsay, for organizing this. It feels really good. So to get to the questions, so right now I'm in a stage of what I would call evolution, because I was recruited really quickly into a job that ended up, not being the right fit and not being a great place to work. So I quit. I was a PR and marketing director. And for the longest time, I've been consulting kind of on the side a little bit here and there with some writing and PR. And so what I guess I'm proud of is that instead of like right now, like I left my job like last week after being there for 4 weeks. I guess what I'm proud of is that I'm taking the time to try and believe in myself and not just go to another bad job because the money's good, but because I've always wanted to if I were to define it, I've always wanted to do like PR consulting and possibly do it in a digital nomad way. And so I'm trying to believe in myself to give it a go for next year and planning that out in terms of finances, but also, being productive and not just, the last 2 days, I'll be honest, I've taken to watching a lot of Real Housewives and doing nothing else, but this is kind of like my kickoff to start seeing, like, am I going to apply to other jobs or am I going to launch my solopreneurship? So I don't know if that answered the questions, but
that's great. That's wonderful. PR, we got it. That you're taking time to go into believing in yourself instead of like just getting another crummy job. Got it. Real Housewives. Got it. So there's this Facebook group I'm a part of called Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. Anyone else a part of that group? So it's a fun group, but also that's where I go where I need my daily dose of drama instead of Real Housewives, because there is some drama in some of those threads.
Yeah.
I have once or twice spoken up and added to the drama. But it also was a really great group for meeting really wonderful people as well. So, and getting lots of great answers and support. So thousands of people in there. Okay. Saima, pass it on, please.
To Lori Lander.
Hi guys. This is my first group, so I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Lindsay. And I am a life and personal growth coach, and I primarily work with women who are really wanting to unleash their full potential to thrive. I am still trying to clarify my niche. That's why I'm starting to work with Lindsay. And as Heather was talking about with really trying to niche down, that's really my goal moving into 2021. But what I'm most proud of this year is that I started my coaching business, I guess about 1.5 years ago, and I've now built up. My goal was by end of December to have 10 consistent clients a week, and I'm up to 8, so I'm almost there. But I've had several more that have phased out, but I am proud of myself. I know it's a lot of work, and I'm, so working hard, but
it is. I love it. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Thank you. So I'm just excited to learn from all of you ladies. So
everyone here has got so much great, like, just wisdom and experience to share. So I'm looking forward to digging into that even more. Sarah, I think that you might be our last person to go. You're on mute. Don't say anything brilliant.
It's very unlike me to not have my camera on, but I pulled my hamstring really badly this weekend and can't currently stand or sit properly. So I'll probably remain off most of the time. So if anything, so I'm Sarah. I own Fitness by Sarah Taylor. Pre-COVID, I had an actual studio. Hi, Francine. I had an actual studio downtown Toronto for plus size women to move their beautiful bodies. So we had group fitness classes, and I focus on the journey to self-love. So there's no weight talk, no diet talk, and really helping women learn to love themselves. based out of my own personal story that I share pretty openly about getting out of an abusive marriage and having to basically rebuild my entire life. I'm also a plus size model, motivational speaker, and former Miss Plus Canada. And thanks to COVID, I am now 100% virtual. So this year has taught me to pivot. And I've had to do that in the last 3 days because I now cannot stand or sit because I was playing with a little child and decided it was a good idea to try and have her go through my legs and then fell into the splits. So I have had to pivot my business again by coming up with a way to basically have a couple of my clients who have been with me for a while showcase how to do the movements while I coach them and everybody else watch them.
That is so smart.
Yeah, so they offered. So I'm very thankful that I have really good relationships with clients and my community members. So one has been with me since I opened my first studio 3 years ago, and the other has been with me for a year. So it's also a really cool way to like take something really crummy and turn it into something positive. So I think for me, one of my biggest lessons that I'm going to take into 2020 is even when bad shit happens, you can turn it into a positive. So yesterday after rehab, I had this huge like aha moment that I was like, okay, I have two choices. I can continue to be mad and frustrated through all this, or I can use this as an opportunity to actually get rest because I have worked more during COVID than I even did before. And I already worked a shit ton before. So I'm taking time to rest, kind of recalibrate, figure out what's going to happen in 2020. And I was already saying I'm teaching up to 9 classes a week virtually, which is 9 workouts. It's not just showing how to do movements. And I've been saying, how am I going to continue to teach that many classes? My body was already paying for it. So problem solved.
Alicia's doing the jazz hands. She knows. We've had this conversation too. That's so wonderful. And I love it because, and this is something that's really important for all of us community builders out there to remember, is that one of the joys of being a part of community is being able to give back, right? And so often when you ask for support, people are like so happy to give back because they want to belong. They want to be a part of the collective communal growth, right? What were you going to say, Sarah?
I tried to avoid them actually helping me. That is another thing I am not very good at.
Oh yeah, that's on the list. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that today. And Elle, perfect timing because you are now officially the last person to go. So we are just doing a quick round of intros and saying who we are, where we're from, what we do, and what we are most proud of from 2020 that we are taking with us into 2021. And you're on mute, so come off mute.
Hi, just came off a webinar.
Yeah, welcome.
I have a little bit of time in between the next webinar I have to do. So it's a crazy day. I am I'm coming to you from the unceded and stolen lands of the St. Lawrence, Iroquois, and Haudenosaunee and Iroquois people, settlers named Montreal. But normally I live in Burnaby. I teach at Simon Fraser University, what I will take forward from into 2020. That was great this year.
What do you do?
Oh, what do I do? So I teach the history of sexuality, gender, and race at Simon Fraser University. And I got to know Lindsay because I'm creating an online course to teach to not students, not for credit course. So yeah, and she's the impact. I just do a little thing for you. So the impact that she's had on my life has gone way beyond that. So whoa.
We haven't done as much work as we have other things.
I know, which has been amazing. Anyhow, I am here because I'm taking care of my grandchild, helping to keep him out of school during COVID time. And I'm just having the most amazing time of my life. And what gift that has been to me is what I will bring forward into the new year.
Wonderful.
How's that?
That's perfect. Thank you so much. And if you have to bounce, feel free to bounce. This is going to be recorded. And so you can also come back later. But delighted you're here. What were you going to say?
I'm so sorry. I missed everybody else's introduction. Hi,
everybody. I know, that's okay. You can watch after. Yeah. Speaking of jazz. So if you see us doing this is our universal, I'm with you, but I don't want to interrupt you. So I'm going to do this. So if someone says something you like, throw those hands up or don't like. Okay. So as I said, this really is meant to be just an informal kind of group coaching, group hang, goal setting wrapped in a hug, warm hug kind of day. So I thought I would ask some questions to kind of get some conversations going. And in about an hour-ish, I'm going to start to wrap us up with really saying, okay, what are some of the goals that we want to be incorporating next year? We're not necessarily requiring a resolution today, more let's just get the conversation going and let's just get the love flowing. So first question, you know what? Why don't we jump off of what Sarah just said? I think it's a really important one, which is this concept of asking for and accepting help as women, as entrepreneurs, as mothers, as wives, as sisters, as everything and anything under the sun. Let's do some jazz hands if you have a hard time asking for and accepting help. Yeah. All right. For those of you who are not giving me some jazz hands, tell me what was a breakthrough moment for you when you became comfortable asking for and receiving help. And by the way, if at any point I ask a question that you don't want to answer, it is okay for you to say, I'm going to pass. Totally cool. So Alicia, you didn't give us jazz hands there. Are you? Yeah, no, I'm calling on you. It's happening.
I better unmute me and make sure it's unmuted. Okay, so growing up, my mom was a therapist before she retired. So it was always ingrained in my entire life that you ask for help. So I always ask for help. The problem I think before, was that I would ask for too much help. And then I took a step back. And then when I hired people, it was that I was asking for help, but they had no clue what they were doing. And that's my fault because I was a bad, I was learning how to lead other people. So I would have something, I had no idea how to teach them what I needed because I had no experience in that. And so I would just be like, forget it. I can do it myself. It'll be quicker if I do it myself, all that sort of stuff. But then from there, I think I guess that's another good thing about this year. This year, I've gotten a team that I really like. And when they're like, we have no idea what the heck you're talking about, they're really open to say that. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to provide you with better explanations and kind of start to give them different tasks and not feel like I had to take it over again. So
yeah. And by the way, if your background is not noisy, come off mute and speak up. I'm not going to call on people and question and answer thing. Let's make this a discussion. So I saw some head nodding there. Speak up if you have something to add to that. No, we're not.
Something I learned in the last 6 months working for somebody else and, trying to bring out those ideas and, help them and help their business. The same thing always came up of I had my group of people, my bubble that was kind of safe. I had Irresistible Entrepreneurs Academy. I had Hervana and all these things that kept me connected. And the last 6 months, I still worked away on my own thing. But then every time I would go to explore and help someone else, I was like, why do you continue to put that energy? Obviously, I need a paycheck in order to pay bills, but it's it felt very draining because one boss would be very receptive to what I had to say and the other one would shut it down very quickly. So it became a little bit deflating of those questions of are you good enough? Are you worthy of being here? And then if I made a mistake, it felt like the whole world kind of came crashing in versus looking at it as a whole versus you did this and this is the way that it needs to be. And just the lack of respect really kind of ate away at me because for me, if you want my respect and that, I want it vice versa. And asking for help is just difficult altogether. So just to sort of tie off, it's learning how to work with others and learning to respect each other for what our differences are versus constantly thinking I can do it myself. I know better. My experience is on top of you. Who are you? I just experienced a lot of that in the last 6 months and it's definitely eaten away at me a lot.
Well, and like you said too, like there not being room to learn or grow. Instead, mistakes are taken as like the end of the world, instead of going, okay, how can we approach this differently and be in a supportive space, right?
Yeah. And just like even yesterday when I had just talked to my counselor and she's like, you can't always, it's about mindset and learning how to deal with all different types of people, which I fully understand. But one of the girls that I work with, a lot of people I knew like her, and I find them to be very toxic. And I've cut them out of my life. And then here is somebody who comes back into my life that's very similar to people that I just don't resonate with. So it's very difficult to work with them, right? Especially when I know the type of people I want to be around.
Well, it looks like Kayla's got something to add to this.
Yeah, it's been really interesting, I think, Tamara, like from someone who has worked in the past with others to becoming an entrepreneur or having my own business and working very solo. And over the past few years, just having such a solo energy about everything that I'm doing. I'm doing it by myself. Literally, I've written multiple solo theater shows. I'm the writer, I'm the actor, I'm doing it myself. And then in my own business, I'm doing it myself. And then this year, I think I said out loud that I do it myself because it's easier. And I was like, but this is really hard. I'm doing a lot of hard stuff. How is this easier? And what it was for me is I didn't have to balance a relationship, even though this person, whomever I might be hiring or working with, would have all of this knowledge, all this experience, and would fit what I was missing, would be a great. So this year I actually made it one of my goals to collaborate more. And I think that has been one of the hardest things. It's been super rewarding because my business has been, doing better. I'm now writing with someone else a new show, which I've never done. And I love that process. But it is all of the talk in my mind of, am I going to let them down? Is what I'm doing good enough? Can I keep up with them? I'm the owner of my businesses, and I'm thinking, how are they going to react to what I'm creating? What? It's my business. It's my ideas. But it's like, I'm starting to now get back into the balance of, okay, how do I feel about this? Okay, I forgot. I'm at the head of this. If I need to slow things down, if I need to have this done that way, I can start to put that in place. But I think I really just didn't work with people for so long because I found it very difficult to balance the relationship. Just like when I started to date my boyfriend, I was like, this is really hard. And now we've been together for 7 years, but I almost threw it all away because I was like, I have to do all this stuff to work with you.
Francine, were you going to add something?
Yeah, well, it's funny because, from a business perspective, what I'm trying to do to go forward is, because my business has grown, but not as much as I want. So I thought, okay, I'm going to reach out and ask my clients if they know anyone who could benefit from my services. And so, I've been doing some phone calls and just say, a check-in call and, oh, by the way, type thing at the end. And it's really difficult. And I've tried to, why is it so difficult? My clients love me. I do amazing work for them. And no one's objected, right? And I thought, well, why is it so hard? And I thought, well, is it because I feel salesy, I'm pushy, which I'm not, or, am I afraid they'll think I'm a loser and my business sucks, that I have to be asking for referrals to get more business. So I found that kind of challenging to be asking for my referrals, and no one seems to mind. It's the old, well, I can't think of anyone offhand, but yeah, sure, absolutely, I'll refer people your way. But that's been kind of funny on a business level to be asking for that.
Yeah. Does anybody else rely on referrals but find it challenging to ask for referrals? Yeah. I'm like, Francine, I immediately want to go into solution mode, but that's not this isn't the time. We will get there, you and I. But that is a thing, right? Like it's the same kind of concept of asking for help. It's asking for referrals and like I think you touched on something. Does this make me a loser and I'm not successful in my business, right? And I think anytime we ask for help, what's behind that is that because I'm a loser and I can't figure it out on my own? Because there's the relationship side that Kayla and Alicia were talking about and Tamara were talking about, but then there's the, what does that say about me, that I'm such a failure in life that I can't figure it out on my own? And the problem with that is that we live in a I don't know if we're socialized. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but it's because we believe that we are meant to figure things out on our own. We believe, we trick ourselves. We believe this thing that we're supposed to be self-sufficient, self-made, right?
Yeah,
And independent.
self-made, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the problem. Right off the bat, we already are in this mindset that's setting ourselves up to think that we're a failure, when the truth is there's no one person that has all the answers. That's not the way that it works. It takes a team, it takes a village. Yeah, somehow we're happy to be in other people's village, but oh my goodness, please don't come into mine. I can figure it out. I know what I'm doing. Juliet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it also comes from a thought that we assume that if people like what we do, they are gonna share it on their own.
Yeah.
And because we're like, oh, it's common sense. If you love me and you love what I do, naturally you're gonna spend your time just sending people my way. But people forget very, very easily. And I think this is one of the biggest things that we learned this year too, is just remind people, by the way, you can actually share this with someone that might enjoy it. And for us, it was a given. It's like, duh, like if you like it, you share it. But people actually don't even go this far. They're just like, oh, okay, well, now I have to run off to a meeting, or I have my own to-do list. So I love what you do, but okay, I just forget about it.
Yeah. And it's important that we don't, at least I'm going to come right back to you, or were you raising your hand? Sorry. Okay. It's important to realize too, that isn't a judgment on you, on us. There are super connectors, and they're few and far between, and then there's everyone else. And you're right, people just take it and go, just because that's just not the way that they work. That's not the way their minds work. And so that's why, yeah, we have to have a really good process or system for getting those referrals, right? Alicia, were you going to say something?
Well, I was going to say something, not about the referrals, but just about the fact of asking for help. One thing, so for example, getting you as a coach this year was really, really hard for me to even decide to get a coach and to pay that much. And really, it has to do with the fact too that I'm looking at all these other people that are in, I don't know, who was it that was in DCA? Someone else in here was
that was, oh, Jana, yes. Oh, and Lori. Lori, did we meet there too? And Linda. Oh my gosh, all the cool people.
Yep.
You see all these people in DCA and they're making it happen, and they're doing it with Amy's program. They bought her program, they go through the program, and then now they're making more money, or their launches are like just from doing the steps in the program. And you know, you get the stories of people that it's not working for, but I'm like, holy, like if it's just as simple as Amy says, for example, you follow the steps, you work the program, you make some tweaks, and then you do it again, you follow the steps, you work the program and make some more tweaks. You should be able to do that with her program on your own. And here I am thinking there's something wrong with me then. Other people can do it. The next launch they did like worked. And so for me, it was a comparison thing. And it was like I felt like I had to admit that I sucked, like I couldn't make it work.
Oh, yes. Oh, let's talk about internalizing that stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right? I want to go around real quick right now. And I want to know the number one thing that you internalize and say to yourself when you compare yourself to someone else who seemingly is more successful. What's that internalized self-thought? Go.
Not worthy.
So say that again.
Not worthy.
Not worthy. Damn. Yeah, Tamara.
Yeah, not smart enough.
Ah, Lori. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not smart enough, not capable.
A failure.
Yeah.
Or that like the person who's doing really well has some kind of like up or some kind of magic secret sauce that I just don't have. Like,
yes.
Totally.
Would that be like saying I don't have what it takes, or it works for them but it will never work for me?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like, oh, like there's this person who started a PR agency I follow on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, well, she started it when she was 21. I'm 36. Like, I've lost, like, just finding a way that to make it like their situation is better than my situation when it's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know. I don't know this person. They're on Instagram, right?
Yeah, exactly. What else? What else comes up for you?
Not talented enough.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the comparison.
I'm not good at this.
Oh, sorry. Heather, go ahead.
That I don't have the skill to do what I'm doing privately.
Yeah. Tamara, I want to come back to you, but raise your hand if you ever lay awake at night going, like, I don't have the skill. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're giving me money. Everyone's going to find out I am full of it and I have no clue what I'm doing, right? That's imposter syndrome. Good old imposter syndrome. Yeah. Tamara, what were you saying?
Just a comparison game of, sometimes questioning people like where they're at or whether you're looking at vanity metrics or the amount of clients they have and then how they are as a human being. And you're like, I don't understand how these all correlate together because you as a human being are just kind of shitty. Sorry, like I obviously this is because of something to do with work, but it's just it kind of has ruined me because I'm like, I just don't want to have anything to do with this person anymore. Like I'm done. And I know when I'm done with someone. And
it's a bit of the whole seeing how the sausage is made and then trying to like present this pretty sausage in social media. But you're like, I know the gunk that's behind this, That's like, does anybody here read or follow Rachel Hollis? No. That was a big fallout this year because she's somebody who really, I don't follow her too much. I'm open for you guys to hearing, but she talked a lot about, I don't even know what she talked about. Honestly, I never really jived with her. Like it was really a good connection, but she purported herself to kind of be this, like have all her shit together, this marriage, this life, blah, blah, blah. And then she announces that she's getting a divorce. And in fact, she doesn't have it all together. And there were a lot of people where instead of feeling relieved and connected, felt betrayed, right? And I think that's an example of what happens when we are inauthentic. And then, right, Lori, I can tell you want to say something. Go.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I followed her for quite a while, and she did kind of, showcase that she was, she had it all together, and she had this amazing marriage, and her husband's her best friend, and they have it all figured out, right? And this morning show, every morning they come on together and talk about how great the relationship is. So yeah. And I was probably one of those people that felt betrayed because I'm like, what? It was like, this bomb exploded. So
yeah.
Shocking.
I think that's the thing of, I always say to some of my clients, I should take my own advice I get, like, don't compare yourself to others because everyone comes from a different situation. So, if you came from a very challenging, difficult childhood, your self-esteem is going to be different. Your relationship, with money or drugs or alcohol or people, it's going to be different. Your personality could be different, but, we always compare ourselves to others. And I think, there was also someone on Instagram who, they travel all over the world and had glorious vacations. And then it all came out, it was a sham and they almost got killed in one, country or something. So, sometimes there is a facade behind people and someone looks like they're really well off and doing well, but they're in debt up to their eyeballs, or they have a really dysfunctional family. But it is hard.
So I want to add on to that, Francie, I totally interrupted you. Just continue, sorry.
No, but it's hard not to compare yourself to others. And I think, women, we do a great job of that, and just, it is that imposter syndrome. Like, well, why would someone want to do business with me? I don't know, and I've had to work with that. And you know what? I don't know everything. And you know what? That's okay. I can either refer someone to, someone who does, or you know what? there's lots of people I can call and I can ask, you know, if it's
No.
tax issue or something, you know, what's your idea about this? Or, you know, hey, I got this thing, what would you do in this situation? And again, that's reaching out for help, you know, and asking someone.
And Heather, before we bounce it over to you, I want to, unless you have to go, can I say one quick thing? To your point, Francine, about this person could have this fancy whatever, be in debt up to their eyeballs, or have this marriage behind the scenes that's not working, or family trauma. The thing is it's like knowing that information isn't about making somebody better or worse than you, or you better or worse than someone. It's about understanding that everybody is struggling with something somewhere. Everybody is processing, and that's the thing, is that we see what they're projecting outside, and it's okay to be inspired by that, but we can't put ourselves on this scale of better or worse than other people based on what we see on social. We have to understand that everyone across the board is struggling with something. We're all figuring it out. Nobody is better or worse than. I mean, maybe capital T, little t, the president who shall not be named. Maybe we can push him down the corner. But no, but the point is that comparison means not saying, oh, well, they're bad too, they got it rough too. It means saying it doesn't matter, because this is my lane and this is my life, and whatever's going on, I get inspired or I don't, but it doesn't matter. This is me and this is where I'm going. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
Heather. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to build on that because, Francine, as you were talking, the thing that kept coming up for me is that when I look around at this group or any other group of entrepreneurs that I'm talking to, there is something really awesomely unique about each of us. And we may not be able to see it until we like do the work. But oh my goodness, like even if this whole group, we're all the same niche, the same background, the same education, there'd be something something particular about why I would want to work with Francine because we clicked on some level versus someone else. And I don't know, whenever I think about that, especially since I have a doppelganger in my industry, like on paper, we are identical, like identical. And at first I was really, really intimidated. I thought, oh my gosh, what am I doing if she's already doing this and she does the same thing? And I met her and I was in a car ride with her for like 4 hours. So I really got to know her, and I thought, yeah, we're the same on paper, but we're totally, totally different in how we communicate and how we relate. And there'll be clients that are perfect for her and clients that are perfect for me. And it takes the pressure off. I still get intimidated. She was earning like 4 times as much as I was last year. So I thought, oh my goodness, what am I doing wrong? Or maybe I should just close down and send everybody to her. But when we know our strength, it's like our superpower, right? Like, and to know that I feel good enough about what I do to know that I'll draw the people that click with me. And if they don't click, my doppelganger might be perfect for them. And I look around this group and I think each of you has that too, like something, that little pièce de résistance that you don't even see that draws people to you instead of the person next to you. And I don't know, that gives me shivers thinking about that.
And that's so true. You know, I was just talking with someone earlier today. We were having a session and they were asking about the differentiator, right? And how do I define that? And sometimes the differentiator is our process, right? Or our offerings or whatever, what we do. But sometimes, most times, the differentiator is us. It is us. It is the way we say things. It is the way we laugh. It is, you know, talking about their tooth as soon as they get on camera, because you know I'm a complainer. You know, love you. Thank you for loving me. So it is like the differentiator is us, and that's where we get back to that comparison. And can we put the blinders on when it comes to what's important to us? And as you know, Kayla talked about being seen and how we put ourselves out there, right? Get inspiration, take it or leave it. But ultimately, who are we? You're your business. You're your differentiator, right? So all we care about is who you are, right? One of the questions I would love to lean into right now, So there's a couple of them. The first one I'm going to ask is, what is something this year that really challenged you, that you had to dig deep to rise above? Heather.
I had a referral source a year and a half ago, and I had to make the tough decision to ask her to not refer people to me directly anymore because she was micromanaging me in ways that made me feel, and I realize now it was boundaries, made me feel so icky, and I thought it was me. And I made the very tough decision to tell her not to refer people to me. And she was 75% of my business.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And I'm happy that I'm beyond that now. I'm now getting more calls in a week than I was when she was referring to me. But it was one of these moral and ethical choices. Okay, hold on. Good. To say, you can't keep a deal with the devil. You've got to just cut loose, even if it's painful. And so, yeah,
Heather, or sorry, Tamara. Yeah, you're getting
I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that financially, but it still comes up inside, like I imagine conversations with her, and she's still a colleague in the community, so who's hired someone instead of me now, and I think, oh, but that process is going to take a while, but financially I'm past it now. And I'm so glad I made the decision to put that boundary in. Like Cass, you were talking about boundaries. Oh my God, this was the biggest realization of how important a boundary is. And just to say, this is not worth it because it's bad.
I think the deal with the devil is exactly, you summed it up right there. Yeah, I love it. Britt, do you want to turn your camera on and say hi? Everybody, Britt has just joined us. And you also don't have to. So really quickly, I'll let you do your intro if you're up for it. Oh, nice looking mango there, Heather. So tell everybody who you are, where you are from, what you do, and what you are taking from 2020 with you into 2021.
Oh, loaded question for travel company. But my name is Britt Casco, and I'm the founder of Origin Travels, which is an off the beaten path adventure retreat company, specifically for women. And I'm from Toronto. Did I get the time right? I feel like I'm like an hour late.
You're an hour late. That's okay.
Yeah, no, I know. I mixed up the times in my head. Sorry about that. But,
happy to have you here.
And yeah, what I'm taking from this year is just like, nothing is ever as it seems. Like this year has pretty much been completely nothing for me as a travel business owner. And, the future is looking bleak, but I use this time to kind of recalibrate and do a lot of working on the business instead of in the business, which I know is like your big thing. And I came in with some pretty cool wins towards the end of this year. And I'm definitely looking forward to the next year for sure. Hopefully we can start traveling again.
Yes. And if anybody is thinking of doing retreats, Britt also helps. Yes, Alicia, Britt helps people. So she basically will help coordinate / run your retreat. So, and I learned when I did my retreat that I'm not a travel agent, so technically shouldn't have been doing some of the things that I was doing, and I should have been getting Britt. So Britt and I will be working together in the future. Okay, so Britt, the question going around, you don't have to answer right now, but the question going around right now is, what is a challenge, like an intense challenge that you faced this year that you really rose to the occasion to meet? All right, who wants to pick it up? Yeah, Simon.
Sorry, just unmuting myself. I think it's mindset for me. I think I stuck to a job that it wasn't serving me anymore, previous to the when I just quit, because I was like, it's a stable job, it pays well, and I can't make money as an entrepreneur or a solopreneur or what have you. But when I decided to leave my job, I instead of freaking out and just looking for another shitty job to replace that shitty job, I'm actually taking the time to think about like, okay, you want to do PR consulting. What kind of PR consulting? What makes you happy versus what's lucrative? And actually just trying to not let like the scariness of like the pandemic and not having a job and financial just stuff to like not letting outside forces shape my life anymore, but shaping it from inside my brain instead is my win.
Yeah, I love that. Who else?
Can I jump in?
Absolutely.
My brain like goes like this. I think through my mouth, so I'm sorry if I'm not quite sure what's going to come out, but anyway. So one of the, I think, things that I really struggle with, and I like this might be a little bit of a combination to like from the last question and to this question, but you know, is kind of a little bit the self-doubt of like being, especially in like the tech field or sector. I'm in data, and I mean I am an engineer, okay, so I do have quite a big background, but I think when I'm on the phone with people and you know, a lot of them, most of them, all of them are men, and they're all like hardcore programmers and like run businesses and you know, are monitoring specialists, and I'm like, I am not a monitoring specialist, I am not a techie, I'm not a programmer, I'm not anything. I have some field experience and I love numbers and I love pretty charts, you know, and I'm like, I really care about like impact and turning social impact into hardcore numbers so we can like make better impact for the world. Like we can actually use our money better to create a better world. And I think we just take a really easy way out. Anyway, and I think like I constantly am, you know, when I get on the phone, I think I'm like a really super, I come across like a really confident person a lot of the time in my real life. And yet, like when I get on the phone and I'm talking, I'm like, who am I? I'm just like a little girl. Like, what am I doing? This like, is this a joke? Like I'm playing a game with myself and like thinking that I am someone I'm not. And I think I realized that the challenge that I faced this year was this balance between I have a job in the day and it is in the social sector. And so it, you know, I do my business stuff at work as well. And I think I have this huge tension because if I'm online and like creating content and helping people, then like, should I be doing that? Is there a conflict? And and I have all this stuff going on in my mind. And so I do nothing. I'm just like, well, I think the better thing is I'll just watch TV, you know, because at least then I'm not doing something else. And, you know, so I'm not taking that person off, or that person wouldn't look at me and think like, what is she doing with her like spare time? You know, why isn't she like spending all her spare time on our nonprofit, you know? And I got really stressed. I think, my partner sitting behind me, there was a moment like in like April or something, or January, I don't know, it was early in the year. He's just like, you know, you need to do this. Like this has been on your heart long before you had that job, and it will go on long after, and you just need to do this. And I think I made a commitment that at least lasted half a year, but like to put out a video every week, and I did, and I did, and then I went back to work, and you know, anyway, then I recorded my course and didn't have any more time to do that. But I think, yeah, like I think it was really, I feel that tension rising again, and I know that that's why I've been avoiding then, you know, continuing to put out consistent content, is because what is my job versus what is, I don't know. But I think that's it. It was digging deep. And it's also a continuing challenge internally. I don't know. That makes sense.
Well, and I think that, you know, the tension between internal push and pull, or multiple things pulling at us, that tension I think is really relatable, no matter if it's a job or a family or just anything, right? I think we can all relate to tension and feeling pulled and not knowing where to work, and there will probably being some guilt around that. And screw it, I'm just gonna watch Netflix. Right? Anyone else have thoughts on the tension that they feel?
I can definitely speak to that. Last week I was feeling a lot of tightness in my chest, and I had talked to 2 different doctors yesterday. One was concerned that I could have some sort of heart condition or something underlying. And then I was checked out by a physician here in town, and he's like, no, everything, you're fine, so don't worry about that. But obviously your stress and anxiety is through the roof, that you're feeling this way. And it's so funny because the last couple of days I've had off, I've actually, had the chance to reflect and kind of look at everything as a whole. And it's like, I feel like I'm constantly having this battle with myself where I'm working, I give my all to an employer and giving everything I possibly can. And then the stuff that I like to do seems to fail. Or it's, kind of gets put on the back burner because like I want to come home and work on it, but I feel so burned out because I do social media and all that content creation for companies that it's become very mundane, where my stuff is where I can be creative and, test the boundaries on things where I can't do that with client work. So I think this year, something I can say that I've taken away is mindset, and it's been the biggest struggle. Because I am my own worst enemy. I can never give myself credit. And I have finally started, up until about last week, Friday, I was trying to do affirmations every morning to remind myself that I am very capable and that I allow others to dictate my decisions, and I need to learn to shift that. I like to joke that I'm some badass from East Van that looks all pretty, and that girl seems to get suppressed sometimes. And I know she's in there and she can stand on her 2 feet, but everything else just really bogged me down. So mindset, I think, it's such a challenge. It really is.
What you just said, it was so beautiful, the way you were like this badass, fashionista, and she's there. It's just sometimes she gets a little buried, but she's there, right? And it's just that continual process of checking in with her and making sure, hey, you need some water, you need a little sandwich, how you doing down there? It's okay if right now you just got to stay, not buried, but just stay here for a bit while we do this. But she's never gone, she's always there, right? But I like this idea of making way more space for her to come out and play. So I'm gonna throw another question out to you, and you get 2 options to answer this here. The first one is, what left your life or your routine in 2020 that you're kind of glad is gone, or what came in and maybe was a bit of a surprise and a gift that you're glad is here? Yeah, Alicia.
Well, I know that everyone is struggling with COVID, and I am so sorry that it's a struggle, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And so I own another business, which is a mobile fitness business. So I was traveling to people's houses, and I was actually trying to get away from that. And I was trying to go only online. But of course, I think just hearing some of you that were you had certain things that were like the devil, it was good money. I had clients coming in, good money. I didn't want to let it go. It's very hard to let it go, but I knew I didn't want to do it. And I wanted to slowly move away from them instead of just cut it off and say, sorry, I can't work with you anymore. And when COVID happened, it was like my dream came true in the fact that everybody was all of a sudden online. And it was a realization that it was really what I wanted. And now it's a little bit like when we go back, people are talking about the vaccine in September. Some of my clients that I don't know if I want to see in person anymore, I just want to keep them online. I'm starting to freak out a little bit about that. And I'm listening to some of you guys talk about, just let it, let the dragon go. And, and I'm like, oh my God, that's going to have to be me for a goal for this coming year. I'm going to have to say, I'm sorry. I love you guys, but if you don't want to stay online with me, I don't want to continue. And that even brings up, can you hear my voice? I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I'm like, we can phrase that in a better way.
Yeah, but it's something that's bringing a lot of attention, but it was also something that because that's what I wanted so bad, but I wasn't allowing myself to go there. I wanted to do it in these very little small steps because I was too afraid. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'm there automatically. I just want to, like, what do I do this year? Like, you know?
Yeah. I love that. I mean, I don't love it, but also I love it. Thank you. Yeah, Fanny.
Okay, for me, there was two things about COVID that I was not really surprised but amazed. First, it's how entrepreneurs and people in general, how we can adapt easily, because when COVID hit, it was amazing to see how many people, instead of freaking out, decided to do something about it and found solution to go online, or like to update their services or change career to be able to survive. So I was really amazed of that. And also by the fact, I don't know, guys, if in your circle it happened, but in our circle, we saw so many people changing their life, even though it's a scary time. And they made big decisions, such like going out of the city and buying a farm, leaving their like relationship, leaving their job to do really whatever they want to do. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this year.
Yeah, I agree. There's been people made big life changes that they never really thought possible, or there was always a reason. Yeah, and went for it. Thank you. Who else? What's left that you're glad is gone, or what's come that was a pleasant surprise?
I can add, sorry, if you see me looking down, I'm just working on my art, but it's kind of about that. I came from basically I was able to pivot to my art side hustle that I've had for the last 6 years. It's always kind of been just a passion project I had on the side. And so I had people who had been following me for a really long time, but like not that huge of a social following. And I was like, you know what, maybe I can kind of lean into this, put some money behind boosted posts and see where this takes me, because I essentially was left with a business that wasn't a business anymore. Not that it shut down, but for the foreseeable year, I wasn't going to be taking anybody on any trips. So I was lucky enough to be able to have this really cool side hustle to fall back on. And one of the things that I'm leaving in 2020 is that followers equals success, or followers equals sales. Because, you know, me and my coordinator have been working tirelessly for the last, you know, me for 3 years, her for the last 2 years that she's been with me on, you know, growing our Instagram following on our travel page, just like nonstop engagement. And maybe it's something to do with the fact that it's so saturated, the travel world, in terms of like what you see, that it's so much harder to get noticed, whereas my art is actually quite unique. So maybe that stands out. But just to see that I was able to actually pivot to this art job full time and make enough sales to give me a full-time salary, especially with the holidays coming up, with literally a fraction of the likes, a fraction of the followers. And it just allowed me to just look at the way that I run my social in a little bit of a different way. And so, yeah, leaving that behind, that pressure that, like, you know, followers equals sales, it doesn't mean that all the time. You just really have to connect with the people who are already there. And so I'm definitely thankful for that.
Amazing. That's huge. Because that'll have ramifications across the board. And
yeah, it was such a source of stress for me for so long, and especially with the changing Instagram algorithm, where it's more pay to play.
Yeah,
so much harder to get in front of anybody organically. Sorry, my dog's making me throw her ball. You know, so it was really getting on me that, like, you know, and I felt bad because, you know, so much of my coordinator's job was baby, I can't wrestle with you. like losing my train of thought. So much of the job that, like, my coordinator was doing was to encourage that engagement, and I felt like she was spending all of her time on it, and now we can actually step back and be like, okay, what else can you do?
Yeah,
that will have just as good of an effect. You know what I mean? So it's a huge stress off my shoulders, and I'm happy to leave that in 2020.
Oh, thank goodness. Yes.
Quality over quantity.
So I want to open up another question unless anyone else has anything to add to this one. All right, so I'm going to open us up with a question, and that is, what is on your wish list for 2021? I mean, intentionally that open-ended, whatever comes to mind, just answer.
Growth for me, business growth, more clients. I got to push and get my book published.
Oh, there's a new writing coach, whatever, that just joined the Brad Connectors group. Who is that? Leah. I will tag you, Francine, in to see, because she might have some insights for you.
Okay, yeah, it's basically done. I just got to do some more edits, get it past compliance, and I've had a couple connections with self-publishers, and so it's just I think it was someone on your group. I've got it on my wall.
Oh, probably Donna. Yeah.
Take a deep breath and finish what you started. So I have that on my wall, and so it's like, yeah. So that's my wish list going into 2021.
I love it. And Lucy, I saw your note. I'll tag you in that as well. Thank you, Francine. Let's do wish list. Let's hear it.
I want balance.
What does that mean to you?
This year, and it was hard for me with these questions that you're asking, because like I've had so much personal stuff going on this year that I found like my business had to take a huge back seat. So that's where I was glad that I didn't hit the fuck it button. But I found that I went so far over on the personal side. My youngest daughter's special needs, and like the last 9 months have completely revolved around her. And I'm kind of taking that power back a little bit, because that's not serving me as much. So having that balance where she's still looked after, like life is still looked after, but looking after me and what I want to do, which is my business. Like I want to do my business. So finding that balance is my wish list.
Love that. Thank you.
I'm gonna have
oh, sorry, go ahead. I know.
I was just gonna say, like, I would piggyback off of what Linda had said of finding balance, and I think really finding a way to make my business something that I want to do, and understand that yes, there's going to be challenges, pains in the butts, it's happens, but I enjoy doing it, and it's my pain in the butt, and I'm happy to deal with it.
Yes, it's my pain in the butt. I'll do it when it's my pain in the butt. I love that. What else? Give me some wish lists.
I think, sorry if anyone else is going to talk. I think for me, it's just kind of, it sounds sappy, but it's like believing that kind of like, lifestyle that I want is possible for me. Like, I just need to kind of try and not just cut down the possibility before I even believe in it.
Yes, and I think that really speaks to what you said earlier about the self-talk with comparison, right? They can do it, but I can't do it. It's for them, but never for me, right? And it is shifting that mindset into, why not me? Of course me. I always think about my own life history that got me through that was when I was training for the triathlon. I'd always wanted to do a triathlon, and I'd always thought, well, I am too heavy. I have to lose weight first. I have to train. I have to whatever. And I had a friend reach out and say, I'm doing a triathlon next year. Do you want to do one with me? And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to do a triathlon. Yes, Lindsay is going to be a triathlete. And so I thankfully had 8 months. And so I picked a program and I followed that program every day-ish for 8 months. And I did 2 triathlons. Wow. Right? And I had gone in that split second from this laundry list of reasons why I couldn't to making the decision to do it. Pick a plan, follow the plan, implement the plan, get the result. And I think that's the biggest shift, is just that switch from, why not me? Why not me? Of course me. Right? And then it's just make a plan, implement, follow. That's it. I love it, Simon. Thank you. Wish lists. Let's hear them. Yes, Penny.
I would say professionally, that would be to really be able to organize my day and stick to it rather than going in every direction. Especially for me, working from home is very difficult because I have the tendency to like have a hard time to focus because there are like so many stuff to do. And I really, really, really want to move out of my place next year. So this is a big goal and it's a scary one, but.
All right. I see Juliet giving you some rounds of applause. So, all right. I love it. Wish list. Let's go. Cass.
I was thinking, for me, I think honesty, more honesty. It's not that I'm like a deceitful person or like I lie to like get my way, but I'll definitely like gauge whether being as honest with my opinion or like my needs is worth having like a continued discussion or like having a back and forth or having an argument. So I think I'm going to try and not do that as much. And not feel like the perfect example is like I have a client in my inbox who I had done some work with her last year. She's a family friend, which makes this even more annoying. But like she's on paper like a terrible client, like ghosted my invoices, wasn't super receptive, kind of hated everything that I did, even though what I did was fine. And everything in me is like, no, don't work with them. Like she wants to work with me again, and I should just say no. But like there's a part of me that's just like, should I say no? And it's just kind of that's something that like I question whether me being honest is worth disappointing somebody else or possibly causing an argument versus, doing the thing instead kind of thing.
That is such a wonderful can of worms to have opened right now. It really is. And again, Jazz has, if you can relate, I mean, we're talking people pleasing. We're talking about duty and obligation. We're talking about speaking our truth, putting ourselves, I mean, everything, right? I had a very wise counselor once say to me, if you want to know if you're dealing with a narcissist, tell them no. So if you tell someone no, and they lose their ish and start freaking out or manipulating or conniving, this is not a healthy relationship. If you say no and this person goes, okay, that is a healthy relationship. All right. That is someone that respect, right? Mic drop, pen drop, Linda, right? That is a healthy relationship. And so a lot of times, if we have experience with narcissistic type personalities in our lives, especially growing up, there can be a lot of danger and risk in saying no. And we learn to not say no. Mm-hmm. As we grow and we realize that we have healthy relationships and that we are allowed to say no, we can say no. And not only is it respected, it's upheld, right? We begin to sort of flex those muscles and build that trust that I can say no and people won't leave me, won't reject me, won't abandon me, won't throw something at me, right? Won't talk shit about me, won't badmouth my business, And so one of the things I think the reasons we don't say no is because we don't want to face the truth of maybe some of the relationships in our lives, right? We know if we say no, what's going to be met with, and we don't want to deal with that. So no can be a really loaded sentence until we really start to connect to our worth, our boundaries, what healthy relationships look like, being able to release unhealthy relationships. And now, Cass, I'm not saying this is all going on for you, but I am saying that this is a can of worms that is universal.
Yeah.
And so I think if we can practice with the little no's, I won't be able to. No, thank you for thinking me, but I can't. No, my calendar's full this year. And if that person has a negative reaction, we need to reflect on the quality of relationship and whether that's a relationship we want to maintain. It's actually something they tell you when you're dating. Disappoint them right away. Say no right away. Enforce a boundary right away. See how they respond, right? Lori, do you want to tack on to that?
That really hit home for me just with some past relationships that I've had. And one recently, it really hit home because I am the consummate people pleaser. Well, used to be. I say recovering because I'm really not. This year I've worked hard not to be. But a friendship of over 20 years, but I was always the yes person and bending over backwards and trying to be nice and put my foot down and said no. And all hell broke loose. So that really just hit home when you said that. Cause I'm like, are you kidding me? One time, probably in 20 years, I said, no, it's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
You know, so it was very telling. So it's really, thank you. It's kind of affirming that all of that. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome. If someone flips out at your no, that's a them problem, not a you problem. You are allowed to say no.
Yeah, I needed to hear that. That really hits home. So thank you.
I can see that the sun is playing right now, right at this window. So I keep like trying to like make sure I don't completely disappear. Okay, so as we shift into sort of wrapping up some of the thoughts that have come up and thinking about how we want to feel next year, not just what we want to accomplish, but how we want to feel. I'd love to start us off with that, going around the room and just saying, how do you want to feel in 2021, regardless of what's happening externally? Okay, who's ready? Raise your hand or just go ahead and start. Francine.
Fulfilled.
Oh,
that's my word for 2021.
Beautiful. Fulfilled. Pass it on to the next person, Francine.
Lori.
Thank you. I would say successful. Just want to feel successful.
Yes. Pass it on.
Cass.
The only thing that comes to mind is inspired. So I'll go with
I feel inspired. I love that word. Pass it on.
Tamara.
I want to definitely feel like balanced and fulfilled.
Yes.
Elle, what about you?
Elle, you're on mute. You're still, oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yes, I have been this year working very hard to relearn what is, on a very deep level, my authentic self. Who am I authentically and really? And I'm talking about going back to pre 10 years old, you know? And so that's what I want next year to be, is more of that.
That made my heart so happy. I just saw like Elle and also like myself like playing as this 10-year-old and just thinking about how I would want to feel during that. Was so lovely. Thank you for that little journey in my own heart.
Ah, and I'll pass it on to Heather. And Heather, I'm curious, are you a teacher? Sorry, I missed the intro.
I look like a teacher because we homeschool. So yeah, I'm set up with my homeschool map of the world behind me and a whole bunch of vocabulary words and Shakespeare poems. But I think for me, for next year, what comes to mind is wanting to be the captain of my ship, like knowing that the world could be like tossing me around, but if I know who I am and what I want to do and what my boundaries are, I can like weather the storm. Although what Elle says, like, I don't know, I think that's at the root of wanting to be the captain of my ship too. That deep authenticity that never got to be me at 10 because like so many of us, I was a people pleaser.
Yeah. You guys are, I almost cried. I almost cried. I gotta lock it down. That was good, Heather. Thank you. Pass it on. Actually, I'll pass it on because I saw Fanny doing a little of this, a little of this. Let's pass it to you, Fanny. How do you want to feel in 2021?
I want to feel rich and abundant.
Say it again.
Rich and abundant.
Abundant, yes. Rich and abundant. I love it. Pass it on.
Juliet.
Surprise, surprise. I was thinking, I want to feel proud.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because we're building something that's slightly out of our current field, and I would just want to feel proud of ourselves for doing it because it will be a success. And I will pass it on to Sarah.
Sorry, I was trying to find the unmute button. For me, I would say I'm looking for peace in 2021. So not just when it comes to business, but also my personal life. This year has been very heavy in doing some heavy lifting emotionally. So peace, body, mind, and soul.
And business.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. Oh, wait, Sarah, pass it on to someone. I'll pass it on. Kayla.
I want to jump on and feel peace as well, and balance. I'm putting boundaries in place starting this week. Woohoo!
Woo.
And I want to bring that into 2021 so I can have more enjoyable downtime and also find some hobbies for myself outside of the things that I do for work.
Yeah, I love that. All right, pass it on.
Let's see here. Jana.
So the first word that jumped to mind was proud, but then somebody already said that. So
You can have both. You can both have it.
Yeah, I want to feel proud. I want to feel self-assured in business. So I think I'm self-assured or whatever in other ways, but I think I'm ready to say, yeah, I'm proud and self-assured to own my own company and run it successfully. Yeah.
I love that. Amazing. Pass it on. And yes, Cass, do a book recommendation in the chat. When we're all done here, I'll get you all put your emails in. I'll round all these book recommendations up and send them out. Jana, throw it out.
Saima?
Saima.
Hello. For my whole professional career, I felt like I was in the middle of a storm. So I feel like I want to have, it's similar to what Heather said. I want to feel like I'm in control of my own destiny.
Yes. Oh yeah, pass it on. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. I had to pass it on. I would pass it on to who hasn't gone yet. Linda.
It hasn't gone? Or Linda. Yeah, Linda.
I want to feel calm because I'm sick and tired of reacting. I want to sink in. I'm sinking in this year.
Yeah.
And to Britt.
I would like to feel self-sufficient. I'm proud to announce that after 3 years of startup life and like 6 years of side hustle, I'm finally making like my own money that's like livable money. That startup life, there's always so much more going in than there is coming out. Francine, I should probably talk to you about that. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, it's just finally gotten to a point where I feel confident enough in myself to actually just put all of my eggs into one basket and really trust myself to be able to put all of my energy into me and the things that I'm doing to actually produce and have that payout. And I think that pre-COVID, I was very like, okay, I'm just going to get this restaurant job. I'm just going to do this energy exchange. I'm going to just do all this and this. And post-COVID, I'm kind of just looking at all this energy that was spent elsewhere, not to mention just like commuting to get there. And it's been clear that as soon as I decided to just kind of take the wheel with my own hands and put all the eggs in my basket, I've been able to like live and feed myself. So I want to feel more of that.
Yeah, I love it. All right, Lori, have you gone yet?
Yeah, I was just saying yes. Like, yeah, I did.
Yes, amazing. Okay, who hasn't gone? Alicia, is anyone has not gone yet? Alicia. You're on mute.
Every time. I want to steal that last one. I want to feel like in control of my business and like it's making me money and it's actually not me putting in more and wondering how I'm going to feed myself. So I like that. I also want abundance. Like I want to come from an abundance mindset. I think I'm coming from scarcity, afraid for the next paycheck, afraid to I want to embrace new people. I want to feel like I'm coming from an abundancy mindset and I want to feel hopeful again, like my business is growing and things are going well. Yeah.
Brilliant. I love it. All right. Does anybody else have to speak on how they want to feel for next year? Okay. Now I'm going to make y'all do a little bit of work. So does everybody have something to write on or a Word document or something? I'm going to set a timer now for 5 minutes. And I want you to write down 3 goals for 2021. 1 big one, 2 little ones. And I want you to tell me what they are. And I want you to tell me what you think you have to, what kind of mindset you think you have to be able to achieve it. Where's the mindset shift that has to happen? Jana, yeah, I told you I was going to make you work. All right, 5 minutes, off you go.
Sorry, we write the goals and then what it takes to make them happen.
What mindset shift do you think you need to make it happen or to have it happen? You're on mute, Kayla. One more minute. Okay. So now, for those that would love to share, I'm going to get you to share. But before that, can you throw your email into the chat so that I can, if you want it shared out, so I can throw it out to everybody? Why don't we do email, and maybe if you're an Instagrammer, if you're a YouTuber, where you want people to come follow you and find you? Okay. And Al, since you have to leave shortly, let's start with you if you'd like to share and tell us your big goal, your two little goals, and the mindset shifts that might need to happen for you to get there. Oh, come off mute first. Perfect.
I was pressing the space bar. Usually that works to unmute me, but it didn't. Anyways, I just focused on my one goal, which is to create this course called Coming Home to Our Non-Binary Bodies. And so what do I need to do to make this happen? I need to organize my time to be steady on. I've always resisted organization and planning, and I've been dealing with that the past couple of years. So trust that people will come and enjoy.
Yeah.
So because it's the worry that people won't come that stops me from even trying. Focus on the fun of creating, because when I'm doing, I love creating and I have so much fun. So it's the other stuff that makes me, but I just enjoy myself. So just focus on that and be realistic about what can be accomplished in a given period of time.
Yes.
Another problem.
I'm like,
That
that's
planning.
everybody. Come on. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Throw it to
you.
someone, throw it to the next person.
Juliet.
Okay, I don't know if mine are just if there's a small one in there, they're probably all big. Number one is build a successful program. And the mindset that I have to deal with is get rid of my waves of imposter syndrome and that make me procrastinate. That's number one. Number two is travel, especially professionally, because that's something that we really want to do. Even if it's just within Canada, for now, it's fine. I just want to get the hell out of my apartment.
Yeah, Britt.
Oh yeah, don't worry, Britt. We yeah, I know, I gotcha. And the last one would be to reach the client quota per month that we set back before the pandemic. I can't remember. Fan would probably tell you that. And the mindset will be to get rid of my self-sabotage habit because I'm afraid of being disappointed.
All right, big ones. Thank you for sharing. All right, pass it on.
Well, I'm gonna go with Fanny then.
How so? Okay, the first one for me, the big one, as I say previously, it's to move out of my apartment, and I think that would be going in the mindset that I am ready to pay a rent that is more expensive, and that I will always get the money to be able to do it because the universe will provide. The second one is also our program called Limitless. And I would say the mindset is that, I guess that would be, shit, I forgot my point. I hate when this happens. Okay, I will pass to the next one.
Okay, if you remember, throw it in the chat.
Yeah, the third goal is to start like an idea that we got with Juliet before COVID happened. There was kind of like organizing some conversation around topics with our clients. And then I guess that would be, if we are still like COVID issue, would be to find a way to do it online. If not, to start just organizing it and finding topics.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. All right, pass it on.
Cass.
Okay, my big one is to bring in over $100,000 next year. I got close-ish this year, not quite, but that I'm trying not to quantify it as like in profit. It's just like that kind of amount of money just somewhere within my bank account, like grants, whatever kind of has to happen. And then my two little ones are put on a solo photo exhibit in 2021. It was supposed to be this year, but I couldn't do it. And then build the passive income stream.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about mindset shifts. What mindset shifts have to happen?
So this one is a big one for me. It's being seen and being okay with being seen and being okay to put myself out there. There's things in the works I'm planning to try and kind of like basically jump into the water and just do it, but it's still always like mentally, it's like a block that I have.
It's a process. I feel like you and Kayla could have a great conversation around that. It's a process. It is progress over perfection. It's the only way. I love it, Cass. Thank you. Throw it on to the next person.
Jana.
You're lucky because I just thought of my mindset. Sorry, I was stealing the extra time. So my big goal, I want to make £100,000 next year. And I'm not even like, it's not that I'm not even close. Like I'm like not close to that at all yet. But I know that that's what I need to take the next step. So my little goal, which actually isn't a little goal because you all know how much time it takes to do this, is I want to get back to running consistent daily, weekly, and monthly content online for the people that actually I love to serve. Yeah. And my other little one is to reduce my day job down to 2 days a week, at least.
Yeah.
And my mindset is, because I work in the nonprofit field and that's my background probably, is I kind of have this constant mindset of like, my clients don't have any money. Like the people that I actually want to serve, like literally make $100 a month is their salary. Like, and I work for a nonprofit, so everything I do should be free because, that's the level. And I think those are huge mindsets that I need to overcome. Actually, there's a lot of money in this sector. And the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing is because it gets spent badly. And it actually isn't being spent in the way that people want it to be spent, in terms of like the actual end user. And that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I need to kind of live into that and understand that, like, yeah. Anyway.
I love it. I love it. Heather is like on for that one. Heather, what were you going to say? Or sorry, what were your goals? Yeah.
I was going to say, because I would love to comment on that, but I'll stay on task.
Yeah, we'll stay on task.
My goals, modestly for financially, 35,000 for the year. It's a modest goal, but it feels like that's somebody's salary. So if I can get to like somebody's salary, like a decent salary, that would be great. 35,000. The second would be like a smaller goal would be to have active professional referrals that are making up half of my business, like a consistent stream from midwives or doulas or whoever. And then the third would be to have international speaking opportunities account for about 5,000 of my income next year. And I think for me, the mindset I need to get all three of those is, for me, it's about my habits and doing little bits all the time, especially with 3 kiddos and balancing parenting, is to just focus on just improving or being more productive or efficient by 1% every day. Just one little bit to focus on what I'm trying to do every day. And that's what's going to add up. I'm not going to have an 8-hour day that I can focus exclusively on my business. It's just 1%, 1% better.
Incremental. I love that. Love it. All right, let's go to Alicia. Thank you, Heather.
Well, I love that everyone is saying 100,000. So even though I'm not close, let's go with that. But then I'll go with the mindset that if I don't make it, it's okay. I still grew. My first goal was to create more revenue. Everything I think for all of my goals for mindset comes down to creating abundance and not scarcity. I think that was a big reflection for 2020. I am leading from scarcity everywhere. So my main goal is create more revenue, to have fun with ways to do that, to stop being impatient about it, so that I can actually enjoy the process and not feel down on myself if I don't make it. To create collaborations and affiliates and get out there and like speaking gigs, that sort of thing is my goal number 2. And again, I think that's abundance and mindset. And instead of being closed off, creating open relationships with people and just realizing that, because I think I have some trust issues that I'm still working around. So just letting go of the trust issues and figuring out how to do that and trust people. And that's how I'm going to do the affiliate collaboration abundance thing. And to I guess tell or get ready to tell those clients that I don't want to see in person once everyone's vaccinated, that I'm not going to do that anymore, which kind of goes into finding the right online clients, finding the right people that I want to work with. And if there are a few of them that are still in person that I genuinely enjoy, and doing that drive to get to them is something I want to do because I'm really excited to do it, that I do that as well, which is again coming down to the fact that if
Alicia, I am so sorry to cut you off, but we have 6 minutes and a lot of people.
Forever, that's my problem. I talk too much.
Okay, to summarize in 7 words or less. Oh, you went on mute already.
Work on abundance, grow, meet new people, done.
Love it. Thank you. Simon, let's throw it over to you.
Okay, really fast. The big one is launch PR solopreneurship. And
Yeah.
then the mindset is to not come from a scarcity mindset anymore. And the small one is that do the PR stuff to have a nice lifestyle. And I think to do that, I just need to plan better because the days get away from me.
Yes. Yeah. You plan the night before, right? You write down the 6 things that you got to do or the 3 things you got to do. You schedule, you know what I mean? You plan the night before, you get up, you hit the ground running. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Simon. Britt.
I believe that my mindset is just going in is just going to be mind over matter, because really there's so many elements of next year that I cannot change for my business one bit. So just got to go with the flow. And I eventually this year, my goal is to start actually making a salary from my business, which will require me to raise a whole lot of money for my second round of fundraising. So amount is yet to be determined. Currently, whatever it's approximately at is kind of scary to think, but I am worth it and I can do it. And yep, mindset, check, 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 good to go.
I love it, Britt. Thank you. Yeah, you have taken a hit. I mean, your business completely flatlined this year. So, I mean, the learning and growth, and I know that it's really, really sucky in it, but like where you'll be 5 and 10 years from now because of the growth and the strength and the adaptability. Oh my gosh. I mean, it sucks in the moment. It always sucks in the moment. But like in the future, you is going to be really happy.
I believe it.
I love it. Lori, have you had a chance to go yet?
Not yet.
Let's hear it.
So I am working hard towards consistent 10K a month. That's my big goal. And my 2 smaller ones is launching my group coaching program in February 2021. And then also with your help, Lindsay, developing a solid marketing strategy and plan moving forward, just to continue that attraction marketing. And I think for me, kind of my biggest block that I need to work through is just continuing to remind myself, as you said earlier, stay in my lane, stay focused. You know, I am capable, you know, I am worthy. I just need to continue to tell myself that. So
we all need some jazz hands on that one.
Thanks.
Right. All right. Who is it now? We got Linda.
I have been working with you, and I'm going to be I have changed my coaching packages, and I'm going to be having at least 10 clients a month because I'm the expert in the field and they need me right now. That's my mindset shift.
I love it. Yes. I love it. Francine.
2 biggies and a small. Big goal, everyone's into 6 figures. I have my goal is to earn $101,101. How do I do it? You got to be specific, ladies. How do I do it? I'm not sure. Work more on that revenue generating activity, gather more assets, more contacts, let people know constantly what I do. Another big goal is to get my book published. It's pretty much there. Just have to update some numbers, do a bit more edits, run it past compliance. Every morning for half an hour, work on it. I can do this. My other thing is just to try to stay organized and focused. Things pile up. I need to create a system, keep Fridays for admin work, maybe devote 20 minutes to filing, etc. And just learn to say no to all the many volunteer stuff I do. So
I love it. No more you time, more organization time, more focus time, less out there time. I love it. Tamara, have you gone yet?
No.
Let's hear it.
I kind of had an aha moment through all of this. We're going to start with finance. I want to start with 5K a month consistently to have, because I've had bigger goals. So I want to shift that a little bit. And something that really excites me that I really want to tap into is like, I love selling shit. Just like, I love Facebook Marketplace. I'm obsessed. I get a really big high when I sell something. And now I'm really starting to think like I can still style, but I love the idea of doing like more estate sales and helping people through that process. Because you see these girls online go to all these cool estate sales. And I think especially in Vancouver, there is a market for it. And it's going to be like all of this is mindset and doing something that honestly gets me high. I don't know.
Yes, I get it. There's the serotonin, the endorphins, the dopamine, just all the things.
Yeah, you have no idea. I'm like a psycho that jumps off the wall when I sell something on Facebook. Like I get so exhilarated. Just talking about it makes me get all giddy.
Oh, yay. I love that. More of that in 2021. All right, Cass, have you gone? Yes, who hasn't gone? Fanny, Alicia, okay, Kayla. Go, Kayla, go.
Okay, so my big goal is TV show picked up by network. 2 smaller goals: purchase our house, and a three-day weekend each week. And the mindset work around it is I am worth investing in.
Yes, I love that. Oh my goodness, friends, this has been a wonderful 2 hours. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for the vulnerability, the authenticity, the big dreaming. As you head into the rest of this year, I really want you to think about reflecting on all the things that came up today and really thinking about, how do I want to feel next year? What is the big thing? What are some of the small things? More importantly, what are the mindsets I need to shift to get me there? And remember that 2021, we don't know what's coming, but listen, we're here. We made it through 2020. And I'm so proud of all of you, of all of us, for what we have accomplished this year, even if it's just for surviving, for heaven's sakes. So as you head into next year, remember, we don't know what's coming, but man, every day, all day, I want you wrapped in a warm hug, and I want you thinking about how you want to feel. All right. Goodbye, everybody. I'm going to send everyone's emails out. There will be a replay available. You'll get an email for that link as well. Come off mute, say goodbye, and let's carry on.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
And Academy crew,
Thanks, everyone.
I will see you in an hour if you're able to make it on our second call. All right. Bye, everyone.